a ruthless and barbaric faction of men hell-bent on keeping out any invading force. I'm not talking about Warhammer fans. I'm talking about the Imperial Japanese Army. Alright, so I'm pretty much ready to get paint on these now. And this is one of those things where you really have to trust the process, because this is looking really nice now that it's all one solid color from the primer. It doesn't just all look like random bits and bobs. I did end up finding a few more pieces that fit on the tank. Zaku hose here, just random part coming out here, a spool, maybe I'll add some wire on there. Little scaffolding for climbing, some packs. Yeah, like a laser camera, scaffolding on this side to match. And now these guns are actually staying up. I do like this red oxide primer. I think this will be a great base for weathering further. And if I kind of sponge put my green on here as a base coat, I think that'll be really interesting and show some rust through a little bit. Really happy with the Sentinel. Like, it almost looks, almost reminds me of like Howl's Moving Castle or something, like just a bunch of random crap put together into, you know, a thing on legs. Definitely a lot more over-designed than I think the original was out of box, and I'm a big fan of the wheel and the extra antennas and all of this. I'm really happy with this. I think my kid was eating something and he grabbed this, and so there's like a little bit of grease in the primer, but who cares? It's a bulldozer. It's supposed to be nasty. But yeah, this stuff took about a day to cure, a lot longer than typical hobby paint. This is just like Krylon, you know, farm equipment, red oxide paint. And yeah, you definitely want to set it aside and keep it safe for pretty much a full 24 hours if you can. And I figure, yeah, I'll just sponge paint green on the big surfaces and probably keep the tracks this color and then do a different color over the tracks so they're really all rusty. And then all this little detail painting is going to be so much fun. That's really exciting. Contacted a resin printer guy on Marketplace who can maybe make me a Lehman Russ and a few little Cadians and things like that, so that might be fun. But yeah, this is a really good starting point for kind of how I want this to look. So I think I'm going to start with a lacquer base so that all the acrylic painting over top will not be an issue, and I can handle this as much as I want, since you can really handle lacquer as much as you need to without it chipping off. Lacquer has an insane amount of cling to it, especially over primer. And this is an intentionally bent piece. This was bent out of the Revel piece. This was how it was on the runner. Little gear here I thought was fun. That would like move as the door goes down. But yeah, it's about all I felt I could add to this guy for now. So these bolt action guys came in, and they're really interesting. I actually got two bolt action kits here. Japanese weapons team, as well as this universal carrier right here. The Bren gun carrier. Now I was originally going to use this thing as a proxy, but this thing is way too small for any Imperial vehicle. And it is funny because yeah, Warhammer scale is pretty cracked. Tanks are way bigger, vehicles are way bigger than they would be in the normal world, despite, you know, same amount of people in them. But I just put some guns on here, and I figure I'll use this for some painting practice on the guns and the texturing and stuff. The tracks, I'll practice the tracks on here. But I pillaged the guys from this, and I used them to fill out my my troops. So I got really interested in the Catachans and their like Rambo forest type sort of squad, and I thought that would really fit the Japanese theme that I wanted this army to have. So starting with the commander, I got the butt chin guy from the tank. I got a bit too much super glue on his face, so I'll need to clean that up. It's a bit of a mess, but honestly, it gave the impression that I wanted, and I can even give him a little bit of a burnt face on one side if needed. But yeah, the super glue I was using was super runny, although honestly this guy's really cool. That's a Catachan commander right there. And then I got these guys taped down, but because they were on little resin bases. Weirdly, the Bren gun carrier guys were plastic, but these were resin. So I guess it just depends. You got to look pretty close. But I put a Warhammer plastic head on this guy and a gun, and this will be the flag bearer in the group. I'm pretty sure Catachan squad has a flag bearer, regimental standard, I think. This is a suicide bomber in the kit, but I put the black guy's head on him from the Warhammer kit, and it's going to be a med pack, so he's running in with a med pack. I filled that out a bit with super glue so it didn't look so much like a bomb, and I gave him a little ghillie leaf suit. This would be my flamer guy. Now I don't really have anything sci-fi on here. Maybe I should change the end of this gun. But I did swap out the head for one of the other resin heads. It's just a screaming Japanese guy. So that's pretty cool looking guy there. Just super angry. This resin came out super dirty too. It all needs a wash and a sanding. I definitely cleaned up the seam lines with a hobby knife and stuff, but little Vox caster. I might still build out the backpack a little bit, add a thing or two to it, but this is the Vox caster. I changed the end of the gun, Warhammer head, but yeah. So this is my forest squad, my Catachan squad, and they're looking very cool. And then for the batteries, I figured I'd do something fun too. So I put the one of the Japanese guys' heads on the gunner here, and he's screaming. And I kind of like how the head is a little bit tinier. It makes the suit look bigger on him and makes him look like a short king, or like almost reminds me of Gears of War, how they all have like tiny heads and they're all Mexican, and then they have like big armor suits. This guy I wanted chilling here. So this was one of the bolt action bodies from the Bren carrier of a guy sitting in the back or in the front of the car. And I put a Warhammer head on him and he's just chilling. I figured that these guys just got off of a break, or just maybe, you know, they're tying up their leisure time, but then they got attacked. I'll say there's something, you know, that's really handy that I never really used on Gunpla is, you might see some of this white powder. Some of that is resin, but a lot of this is baking soda. Because if you put super glue down, you kind of have to hold the piece for about a minute or two to keep it in place. But if you sprinkle some baking soda over it, it'll cure instantly. Then you basically have a hard surface that you can sand down from there, or whittle down with a knife. And this sniper would just be next to the battery here. Since there's technically 3 guys with the batteries, I figured I'll have, you know, 3 at each still, even if they're not the guys that came with the kits. This one I'm really happy with. So this guy here is really angry that they're just chilling out. And this guy here was a bolt action guy that I put a Warhammer head on. This guy was supposed to sit in the Bren carrier as well, the universal carrier. But he had like a big part of plastic coming down that was basically part of the seat that he would sit in. As part of the model. So what I went and did is I actually went and sculpted that and trimmed it, so he just has a big butt hanging over the edge there, and kind of distracting the gunner with his cheeks. Let's try to get that as focused as we can. Oh yeah, I find that very, very funny. And I gave this guy a little bit of a crack too, just because I didn't like the flat surface. And we have this sassy veteran over here who's like, these kids, you know, with his hand on his hip, you know, judging. Probably gonna shoot a warning shot in the air to get everybody at attention. Lastly here, this guy, let me see if I can get him out of here. I started getting a little bit of paint on everything, but I wasn't too happy with the way it was looking. I know it's in the ugly stage, but I kind of just got distracted and wanted to work on the little guys once the bolt action kits came in. So this guy was supposed to be leisuring out on the carrier as well, and so I cut off his bottom half, and I moved his arm up. This guy actually didn't do any seam removal on or add any super glue to yet, or extra, so I'll have to kind of sculpt this arm a little bit more. Yeah, this would be the guy hanging out in the Sentinel, and I figured since he's the scout, he can have the cool visor. But I want him just kind of ghost riding the whip. And yeah, he'll just be sitting in there like that, chilling. But the funny thing then is that I did make this that it could go between scout and armored easily. And now his little hand is hanging out. Now I could actually remove that door. That might actually be an option. I think that'd be kind of funny. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll remove the door there. So that you can see him in there in the vent. But yeah, we'll figure that out. I could also drill this out so it's actually a functional porthole as well. And kind of trim it out with a hobby knife. But yeah, between this guy and the guys on the battery, it's just really going to be an army of chill individuals. Nobody taking anything too seriously. Everybody's just kind of hanging out, having a good day. Except for the commander. The commander is really serious. Yeah, haven't quite decided if I'm going to keep painting the guys or if I'm going to keep going on with the batteries. The holidays are coming and I'll be away for a few days, so I'll probably end up just bringing a few of the guys with me in like 3 paints and just painting a few little guys in the meantime. Otherwise, yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. Really excited how this is all coming together. Starting to really look like an army here, or the start of one. I really do get why y'all like this. All right, take care.